Hello. Welcome to the Jers TV. Tonight we're doing a wee quick live show from me and Dylan. We're going to cover yesterday's match against Motherwell. Of course, Si and Jay did a wee show, but we're going to give our wee point of view tonight. Dylan, how are you? You've not been on the show for a wee while.
I'm alright. How are you? How are you, Lewis?
I'm good. I'm brand new. 3 points, that's all that matters. But anyways, yesterday, a 1-0 win against Motherwell. A hard-fought win, which it seemed like anyways. We knew it was going to be a tough game with how well Motherwell are doing right now. So, what's your thoughts on the overall game?
Difficult game. I thought Motherwell set up superbly. Defence was strong. The goalkeeper came out on top. I think both goalkeepers in general. Thought Butland came up with a couple of great saves, and Motherwell's goalkeeper, don't know his name, but came up with a couple of great saves as well, and stopped us scoring a lot of easy goals, I thought. So that's what you want. Difficult 1-0 win, but 3 points is all that matters. How about you?
Yeah, I'm the same. Well, I was working yesterday, so I actually never seen much of the game. I actually never seen the goal either. The one positive thing from the game, the goal, and I never even seen it. But I heard it was a tap in from Taylor Lasgard, who's not really been on the greatest of form recently, so it's good to see him getting a goal.
Yeah.
So as I said before, it was a hard fought win. It was a game that we knew that was going to be tough. Motherwell always set up well coming to Ibrox. We've seen in recent times since Motherwell have came to Ibrox, they've played well. They've something a good few times they've gotten a result as well against us. So yeah, it was good to see. Good to see us getting 3 points as always. Hopefully sets up well for a midweek game against St Mirren, which will probably be tough. Not long off the back of winning the League Cup.
Yeah, I think St Mirren are in great form as well. I don't know the result at the weekend, but assuming they played well, it'd be a tough ask, especially them coming to Ibrox after beating the other side of Glasgow. Be a tough challenge, and hopefully pick up another 3 points and carry on. Big January transfer window, coming up as well, and hopefully get the right signings in and crack on with the league, especially with Hearts dropping points there. So hopefully can carry on and pick up the points that we need.
Yeah, well, just as you said there, I was just touched on what I was going to say there about a massive January transfer window coming up. And as we mentioned on the show previously as well, it's a massive window if we're wanting to try to keep some sort of a title fight alive. So possibly Hearts dropping points there at the weekend as well. Of course, in an Edinburgh derby, which seemed a very good game, 3-2 end up at the Hibs. So yeah, with Hearts dropping points, maybe that might rejuvenate a bit of hope within the Rangers support, but I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I'm still sort of on the fence where I think we can win the league or not. But as Big Marvin said, keep believing. But it'll be a tough game on Tuesday night. I don't think it'll be an easy game at all. I don't think we'll have any easy games until from between now until the end of the season. I don't think we'll have any easy games at all. I think it seems we're making it hard for ourselves, to be honest. We made it hard for ourselves yesterday against Motherwell. We struggled a lot. As much as we had a lot of good chances, but so did Motherwell. Motherwell set up very well and they played well, I thought.
Butland saved us quite a bit yesterday. I thought 2 or 3 really massive saves yesterday. 1 in the first half and I think 2 in the second half. Conor Barron was absolutely superb. Chermiti should have blasted it out about maybe 3 or 4 times yesterday. And then Miovski off the bench. I thought he should have scored as well, but the 3 points is all that matters, and we move on from the game.
Yeah, of course. I mean, as you said there, Butland saved us a few times, but the Motherwell keeper also kept it from possibly being 3 or 4. A big chance at the end as well, especially with Lyle Cameron, who I think should have probably put the ball in the back of the net. I think that with the amount of time that he had, he should have put a bit more power into it instead of just sort of passing it to the keeper, it seemed like. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's the 3 points, which is what matters, and it's the 3 points. If we do end up going on and win this league, as we've said before in the show, it's not the performance that we'll remember, it's the 3 points, and it's the result that we'll remember.
I thought yesterday we tried to walk the ball into the goal quite a lot. There was a chance in the second half. I think Mikey Moore or it was Finlay Curtis. They played it across to Miovski. The winger should be just shooting there. There's no need to pass the ball, but
I've seen that,
it is what it is. We still won the game. We made it hard for ourselves, but we got over the finish line at the end. So
yeah. So as you said there, as I said before as well, we made it hard for ourselves, but we seem to be doing that a lot in games. Why do you think that is?
I don't even know. I think the striker should be doing their job properly, putting the ball in the net. Chances. I thought he could have had maybe 4 goals yesterday. Well, his build-up play was superb. Don't get me wrong, but his finishing in front of goal, it has to be looked at, and it has to be worked on. Miovski had 15 minutes on the pitch. He had 1 or 2 chances. Thought he maybe should have scored 1. It's a big ask, but maybe the players are lacking in confidence. I don't know.
For me, overall, I thought it was an okay performance. But the only thing is, I thought Motherwell players looked fitter than the Rangers players, to be honest. As you said, it seems as if they were trying to walk it when they go. Motherwell players seem to be everywhere in the park. They seem to be marking well, they seem to be defending well. Even going forward well, they were unlucky with some chances, as you said. Jack Butland saved us a few times as well. So I thought we were lucky. There's a few maybe possible penalty shouts that Motherwell should have had. I think we'll talk about them in the next week, couple of minutes or so. But it was, as we said, it was a game that we made tough for ourselves. We got over the line, and we're doing that a lot recently. But I don't see why we're having to make it so for ourselves, considering these games that we should be winning by 3 or 4 goals. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to take anything away from Motherwell. They're playing fantastically under the new manager. Jens Berthel Askew, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
So they're performing well. I actually think before the game yesterday, they were above us in the league. Sorry, struggling to speak English today, guys. I must apologise. They were above us in the league before the game yesterday.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to take away from how well they're doing. But one of the questions I'm going to ask you is, why does Danny Rose seem to be in the team selection every single week? Fans seem to be unhappy with the team selection. Why does Danny Rose keep picking these players that we seem to deem are not good enough for the club?
You're asking the wrong guy here. I thought yesterday team selection was superb. I thought it was on point. Maybe Mikey Moore should have started, but I thought changing away from the 3-back or the 5-back, whatever you want to call it, was superb. I thought the 3 or the 5-back's not working, and he's obviously seen that, and he's seen the opportunity to capitalise on it, and he's switched, and it worked. He went back to the 4-3-3. I thought he was playing yesterday. I thought it worked, and it worked superbly, and then got us the 3 points. So I think the 3-back or the 5-back, I'm going to say it's a 3-back. I'm going to say it's a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3. I think that leaves us very vulnerable at the back, especially with Emmanuel Fernandez and John Souttar and Tavernier at right centre-back. Leaves us very vulnerable, especially Tav's attacking positioning or defensive awareness, sorry. I don't think Tav's the best defensively. I've always said this. I think Tav's the best. His best abilities is going forward. And him playing centre-back is... I'd rather him playing more in an attacking position, maybe a right wing-back and a 5-back would suit Tav better than playing right centre-back. But...
Yeah, but in the last maybe year or two, we've seen Tavernier being shifted towards the sort of centre-back role, particularly in the game against Man United at Old Trafford as well. And I think it's a great game.
Yeah.
I think he actually seems to be a better player at centre-back, because I disagree with you there. I think nowadays, I think he's lost his legs a bit. He's not as quick. He's not, with all due respect, he's not as sharp anymore as what he used to be. From set pieces, from even free kicks, maybe not so much penalties, but your free kicks, your corners, he doesn't seem to be quite on the ball there. Yeah, so I actually think he is more suited in a defensive role, possibly a midfield role, which we've spoken about in the channel, but we've got plenty of players in there already.
Yeah.
So with Tavernier, maybe if Tavernier's at right centre back, maybe even Max Aarons or Aarons, whatever you want to say, on the sort of right wing back position. If we are to go with a 3-back or a 5-back, I think seems to be the way to go. I'm actually quite a big fan of the 3-back. I quite like it. I think, as much as you're saying it doesn't work, and yes, I don't think it works against your teams like your Hearts, your Aberdeens, your Celtics, even your Hibs and Motherwells nowadays, with Motherwell doing so well. So I think it works against your teams that you should expect to beat. Now, I think a 3-back and 2 up front, I think, is the way to go against these sort of teams.
Yeah, I think the best formation right now with the players we've got, obviously coming up to the January transfer window, I think the best players we've got is maybe suitable for a 4-4-2 with Raskin and Barron maybe in the midfield. It's just two holding defensive midfielders, and then let the two wingers roam and cut in, drift wide, and that as well, and maybe play Chermiti and Danilo or Chermiti and Miovski. Who knows? Chermiti's build-up plays is fantastic. I'll not take it away from Chermiti, but his finish in front of goal is horrific. So who knows if Chermiti's maybe playing a couple of through balls through into Miovski, who obviously he knows the league, knows how to find the back of the net. So who knows?
Yeah, well, Miovski is someone that we've spoken about a lot on the channel recently, and even Chermiti as well. We've spoken about a lot. Chermiti's never going to get rid of that £8 million price tag, and we were speaking about it off camera as well. Of course, size off camera as well. We were talking about that as well. He's not going to get rid of that £8 million price tag. That's going to put a lot of pressure on him. And as we've said in the channel before, he's probably the one in the changing room that's got the most pressure on him right now. So, do you think he's maybe struggling to cope with that, or do you think he's just simply not good enough? What do you think?
I have seen glimpses, and I know a lot of Rangers fans will disagree with me here, but I have seen glimpses of Chermiti where I think he will come good. There's been chances where I hate to bring it up, but it's that chance in the semi-final against Celtic. It's an absolute tap in, and he hits it wide. There's a lot of chances from Chermiti where he has missed, where he should be blasting the net, but I think it's something to do with his confidence. I don't think he is a bad player at all. He's still young. He's 21 years of age, 22 years of age. He's still a young striker. Portuguese. He's in the under 21s Portugal squad.
Yep, you're right.
It's hard to tell. I would like to see him for another year, and I really hope that's a big gamble on me here. I really hope he can really hit the ground running here and start scoring a couple of goals in the next couple of months.
I think we're well past the stage of hitting the ground running, considering he's been here for 5 or 6 months. But I really hope he can find a bit of form, maybe, and then if we get a wee run of easier games, maybe not so much easier games, but games that we should be winning, that we should be winning comfortably as well. Mm-hmm. I think if you're playing those sort of games, but the weekend at the same time, Motherwell are a team who before the game hadn't conceded a goal in 5 games, I believe. Yep. It was. I think I've seen someone in our wee group chat saying that. I think it was Jay that said that. I don't think Motherwell conceded in the 5 games, and we struggled to score against them. Yes, we scored, but it was a tap. It wasn't really much of a well-worked goal. But I think against a team that's defending well, that's setting themselves up well against these sort of bigger teams and better teams, you should be playing your best. You should be playing your best striker, which I think is Miovski. You should be playing your best attackers, probably Mike Guevara. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you should be starting to play like as much as Asgard scored the goal. I don't rate him at all. Really. I don't rate him at all. I think he's got technical ability. I just don't think he's cut out for the Scottish game.
I'm going to disagree with you there with Tello Asgard. I think if we're playing a 4-back, I think Asgard has to start every day of the week. I thought he was, I wouldn't say he was terrible, but I thought he done well. He's good as a number 10. He followed the ball in for the goal. Gassama hit it. The keeper parried it. That's what you want your strikers to do. You want your striker to follow the ball into the goal. None of the strikers were doing that. Till Asgard, he was doing it the full game, and bit of luck striking. There he was, right place, right time, and found the back of the goal. So,
yep. I seen a wee start there about the last time we got a penalty at Celtic Park. Of course, we'll probably talk more about the Old Firm game on tomorrow night's show. Of course, we're not doing a Tuesday night live show, of course, as Rangers are playing on Tuesday night. So we'll just replace that with a wee live show tomorrow night. So I've seen a wee start there. We haven't had a penalty at Parkhead or Celtic Park, whatever you want. We haven't had a penalty at Parkhead since, I believe, August 2000. Was it not August 2010? Was it not a wee bit? Was it not? Well, in so many years, we've not had a penalty at Parkhead. So, yeah. I mean, it's a bit more of a talking point for tomorrow. And a wee start as well. Celtic have now gone 82 domestic games without a red card. So, and as I said with the previous point, we'll probably talk more about them tomorrow. But, yesterday's game was tough. But on to the next, we've got
St Mirren.
The next 2 games are going to be tough. course, one more tougher than the other, you could probably say. But we've got a tough game nonetheless on Tuesday night, of course. Midweek at Ibrox, it can be a bit of a tough place for a lot of Rangers teams. We're finding a lot of Rangers teams now are struggling at Ibrox, and that's something we should never be seeing. There's no fear factor for other teams. See your teams like your St Mirrens, your Motherwells, even your Livingstons and stuff like that. They're coming to Ibrox and they're expecting to get a result. They're expecting to win these sort of games. And that should just not be the case. I think the fans are getting in the back of the Rangers team a lot as well. I don't think that makes things much easier. I don't think there's much of. You could probably argue there's not much of an atmosphere at these games either. So I think I think we'll struggle. I don't think it'll be necessarily a walk in the park. I hope I'm proven wrong, because I hope it is. I hope that 1, 3, 4, 5, nothing, whatever. But I just don't see it. St Mirren are a team that are in high spirit right now. That they're on not bad form. Of course, winning the League Cup there against Celtic, but it's a tough. I'm not going to say it's a tough ask to get 3 points, because it isn't. But it's also going to be a not easy game. What do you think? What's your opinions on the game coming up on Tuesday night?
I would just like to go back and quote Barry Ferguson. Pretty much what you just said there is people don't fear playing Rangers anymore, and it's true. People come to Ibrox and they expect to get a draw or a win against us, and as Lewis said, the atmosphere as well, like that also plays a part. I think Rangers find it difficult playing against tall, physical strikers that like to maybe bully the centre backs. Like John Sittard just coming back from injury. We were playing Emmanuel Fernandez and Dujon Sterling as centre backs there at the weekend. I think if they've got Ayunga or Mikel Mandaron up front, I think Rangers will struggle to find a way to deal with that. Just look at Celtic, and I hate bringing it up, but just look at them in the cup final. 2 physical strikers against their centre backs, and they were struggling. So I dread to think what Rangers could do. I think that is our priority in the window, is maybe to sign one real big centre back that can deal with that, and a left back especially. I think I love Magoma, but I think he's far too weak for the left back role.
Yeah, well, there's a Belgian left back that we're looking at. I cannot remember his name. He plays with Westerlo. I know I mentioned him on the show last Tuesday. I cannot for the life of me remember his name. Quite young, but also experienced enough. I believe he's 22 years of age. He's experienced. He's had 19 appearances with the Belgian youth, with, of course, under 18s, 19s, under 20s, and under 21s as well. He's got experience playing with them. So I think if we were to bring in a left back and possibly a tall physical centre half, because as you were saying, we struggle against big sort of physical strikers, as you're saying. Jonah Ayunga as well. You get me and Don both with St Mirren. You got a boy for Kelly as well.
Kyle Vassell.
Kyle Vassell. A big boy for Kelly as well that we struggle to play against as well. You've got a lot of big physical strikers. That's what a lot of these, I'm going to say it, weird teams in the league sort of go for. Big physical strikers that are going to bully teams, bully defences. And we struggle to cope with that. A team like Rangers, we should never struggle to cope with that. I mean, I'm going well before my time. But your Richard Goffs, your Terry Butchers and stuff like that, never going to struggle against a player like Kyle Vassell or Mikel Mandaron or Jonah Young. They're never going to struggle against players like that. So I think, I'm not saying we're going to sign a Terry Butcher, a Richard Goff type of player in January, because we're not. But if we're going to sign a big, tall, physical centre half, I think centre half is definitely one of the positions that we need, considering we've got John Suter, who's slightly sort of injury prone. Then you've got Derek Cornelius that's out injured currently at the moment. A wee comment here from Alex Kelly, which I'm actually going to quickly read out. The support constantly criticise our players. How are we expecting them to win anything when we never give them any belief? A lot of our fan base have forgotten how to support the team. That's one of the points I was making about how teams don't fear coming to Ibrox, because we're getting on the team's back. We're not supporting them. We're giving them constant grief. One bad pass and we're right on their back. Yes, the standards are high at Rangers, but we cannot expect them to get it right at any time, because there's a lot of young players in this squad as well, and they're not going to be perfect. They're going to make every person's going to make mistakes, but we're only human. Yep. So And so these players that played for Rangers, they're only human. They're going to make mistakes time and time again. But and I'm not saying we should get used to it, because I don't think I'm not saying it's acceptable to make these sort of these crucial mistakes, but they are going to happen. We've got to accept that, because they are only human. And I agree with what you're saying, Alex, as well. Sort of not supporting the team, getting on their back. It's the whole that, and then it's booing the team as well, which I don't agree. Booing them off at half time, booing at full time, booing whenever if a player comes on, you're booing them. I don't agree with that at all. I've never agreed with that. I don't think you should ever boo your own team, because I don't think you can call that support. A wee comment there from Betty McKenzie there. Not enough Scottish players in the team. Yeah, well, that's actually a point that Derek Johnson made at half time, which we'll get on to shortly as well. That's a major talking point from yesterday. Derek Johnson's speech at half time, which I think I've seen a lot of people say is the man of the match from yesterday. Also, when you're talking about Scottish players there, Billy Davies mentioned it in his interview with Sai, of course, last week or so. He mentioned it, saying that there's not enough Scottish players in the squad. There's not a lot of Scottish influence, even British influence, you could argue as well. I think there's a lack of players that truly get Rangers. And I made a point on the show the other night. There's probably about 25, 30 players in that squad. And you could probably say there's 2 or 3 of them in there that truly get Rangers and truly get what it is to play for Rangers.
Yep. No, I completely agree with the last 2 comments. The one about there's no leaders and whatnot. I completely agree with that. And then the one with no Scottish players. I think Danny Rose said in his most recent press conference, or was it 2 press?
He said he wasn't going to turn his nose up at the Scottish market.
So I think Rangers will be looking at to sign maybe David Watson. I know he is out of contract. Yeah,
your brother.
As my brother just said there, I think David Watson in January. I think that is a no-brainer. Just Nick Walsh allowed our hearts to build our team. Yes, but last week,
I would agree with that as well. I'm going to read out the rest of the comment there as well. The officials don't protect them, but they need to get the slaves rolled up and fight back. We need more physicality in the team and win the battles. No surrender. That's another point that Derek Johnson made that we're just going to come on to now. Derek Johnson's speech at half time, of course, Dylan, you were at the game. I wasn't. I had to work. What was your overall thoughts on what Derek Johnson said at half time? I think most Rangers fans probably agree on this.
Absolutely superb. He says what the fans want to hear, and just to finish it all off with no surrender. I think that was maybe the loudest cheer the whole game, maybe even louder than Tello Asgard scoring. So absolutely superb. What a man, what a player. Yeah,
well, Derek Johnson is, of course, what I like to call a man of the people, a man that does a lot of work with the fans, with fan media. Of course, you'll see him a lot of time in Oswald's doing a few nights in there as well. So, I mean, as you said there, pretty much hit the nail on the head there. Says what the fans are thinking. Well, of course, Derek Johnson is obviously a fan. So, I think all Rangers fans probably agree in the fact that there's not enough Scottish influence in the squad and there's not enough leadership in there. A wee quote there that Sai's just put up for us there. At this club, you have to give everything. I don't see that happening today. And as they left the pitch, he shouted, no surrender, to a huge roar from the home fans. Yep. Yes, well, possibly Derek Johnson. I think probably the only thing that maybe some fans may disagree on. I don't disagree with him. I think he's honest. I think he's straight up. That a lot of fans might maybe think he's a bit out of order by saying that the players aren't giving their all.
No. I completely agree with him. And he made a point as well about the leadership. I completely agree. I think the leadership group at Rangers is horrific right now. We've had the same so-called leaders for the last, maybe 4 or 5 years. And they've won, 1 trophy, 2 trophies?
Mm-hmm. Another big comment here from Alex Kelly talking about the Scottish market, of course. A topic that we've covered a lot in the Gers TV here. We've ignored the Scottish market for far too long.
Yep.
Lewis Ferguson, Lawrence Shankland, James Penrice, Gogic even as well, would have all improved our team. Wearing our shirt carries responsibility. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Alex Kelly. I think Lawrence Shankland in a free would have been a no-brainer. Although I do think if Lawrence Shankland was here in place of Miovski, I think he'd be having similar issues with. I do believe Miovski's been told to sort of come back and hold up a bit more than what.
Yeah, so I don't know if many people used to watch Liverpool back in the day, but maybe as a Roberto Firmino role as a false nine and build up the attack and let the two wingers cut in and score all the goals. But I don't know if...
well, of course, you've got Lewis Ferguson as well. I think probably the biggest or one of the biggest ones that we missed out, of course, is away to Bologna. He's our captain now. Bologna, he's went out of his comfort zone and he's captain a team now. He's captained them to, I believe, a Coppa Italia as well. I think their first trophy in 50, 60 odd years or something like that. So, I mean, come on, like, yeah, James Penrice as well, of course, was at Livingston, then he went to Hearts as well. Then, a wee voice crack there for myself. He went to Hearts, then just there in the summer, he went to AEK Athens, another Scottish player that's stepping out of their comfort zone and it's thriving abroad. We've seen that a lot with Scottish players.
We'd also like to jump in here. I think Max Johnston, who was at Motherwell maybe 2 years ago now. The right back. I thought we I thought we missed a huge trick on him. Thought he was superb at Motherwell. When I slotted right into my team. Same with Alex Penrice at Hearts. I thought, even at Livingston, I thought we should have snapped him up quicker. Lewis Ferguson, he was a no-brainer, but just let him go under the radar. And then you can even argue, maybe Billy Gilmore didn't want to be here, but you could even argue that Billy Gilmore was one of the hottest prospects in Scotland at one point, and we let him go to Chelsea. So you could even argue that.
Yeah, well, plenty of talented Scottish youth as well. Max Johnson's one that sort of goes under the radar as well. Lennon Miller is now at Udinese. I think he's doing not too bad there abroad in Italy as well. We've seen that a lot. A lot of Scottish players have gone to Italy. Hickey as well. Yep. Josh Doig and Hickey, of course, is now in the Premiership.
Yep.
But a well-deserved move to Brentford, who are a team that are doing quite well in the Premiership.
I would have taken Aaron Hickey.
I'd have taken him at Rangers as well. A both-footed right back / left back as well. He's played in both positions.
Josh Doig as well when he was at Hibs.
Josh Doig as well, and now it's Sassuolo.
Yeah, I thought he was superb at Hibs, and I thought Rangers should have signed him up. But it's another Scottish talent that's went under the radar at Rangers, and hopefully under Danny Rowe and the new the scouts that come in, hopefully can capitalise on it and pick up some Scottish players.
Yeah, well, before I go into my point that I was going to make there, I'm going to comment on Alex Kelly's view that's just came in there, his wee comment on Facebook. Butland, Tavernier, Raskin, Dayman, Miovski were our worst players at Tynecastle last week. The younger players need leaders to step into the battle. The weak mentality has been a problem for years, absolutely. I mean, Butland, Tavernier, even Raskin, even Miovski, if you want to say it to an extent, are all players that know the Scottish games, are all players who can lead Rangers, and all players that didn't. They didn't lead Rangers last week at Tynecastle. After we scored the first goal that, of course, got disallowed, it just seemed to give up, really, from there. I mean, maybe not give up from there, but after the sort of 25th minute or so, even after Hearts scored, we just seemed to give up. And that's not a Rangers team. That's not what you expect from a Rangers team.
As I was saying to my brother that, at the Hearts game, I think when Rangers concede a goal, they look nervous at the back. It's as if they don't even want to push for an equaliser. Even in the first half, it's as if they just give up and just accept that the defeat is in their sight. And that's the thing with Rangers right now. And I think there is a lot of players in this squad right now that really need to get moved on in January. Whether or not that does happen, I've seen a couple of Danny Rowe's press conferences and he's saying about it. But whether or not that does happen is things we'll never know. So,
well, for the last few years, we've turned our nose up at Scottish talent. You can maybe argue Conor Barron and Lyle Cameron are probably the only exceptions there. But we've turned our nose up at Scottish talent. We've done that for far too long. There's a lot of ignorance towards the Scottish game. I actually find from a lot of players, from a lot of people in our country, there's a lot of ignorance towards these young players in Scotland. They're thinking, they only play for Kilmarnock, they only play for Motherwell, but they're going abroad and they're doing well, they're thriving, they're stepping out of their comfort zone, as I've said multiple times. Stepping out of their comfort zone and they're thriving.
I just want to jump in here. The numbers they put up for the sort of clubs is ridiculous. You look at Lyle Cameron at Dundee, the numbers he put up for Dundee, who's arguably a relegation, maybe bottom of half table team, and he's putting up those sort of numbers last season. He doesn't even get a look in our squad right now.
Aye, well, there's word of him going out on loan as well. Him and Finlay Curtis possibly been linked with a loan moving. To be honest, I'm not surprised at that because they're not playing.
Yep.
Not playing. We picture this has been put up on the screen. We've got 3 tough games coming up as well. St Mirren, Celtic away, then we've got Aberdeen at home, and then after that we've actually Aberdeen away.
Yep.
So yeah, we've got some very tough games coming up. We've got a tough game that's going to tough. Well, as I said, 4 tough games coming up. So it's going to take a lot of ball and a lot of leadership, and we struggled with that at Tynecastle. There was little to no bottle at Tynecastle, no leadership really. You could say, as I said, arguably after the first goal, it seems as if we just gave up. I would hate to see that happen at Parkhead because that's the worst place you can. That's the worst place you can do something like that. Just give up after conceding a goal.
Yep.
You go back, you fight. You're like, right, boys, come on, let's get another one. Let's get ourselves back into the game. But there just seems to be none of that at Tynecastle last week. So I really hope that's an issue that's been addressed in the changing room and in training by Danny Rowe.
Yep.
A big comment here from Alex Kelly there. Derek Johnson, John Brown, Barry Ferguson all know what it takes to represent our club. The hierarchy needs guidance. The hierarchy needs guidance on our standards. We've lost our identity over the years, and by ignoring the Scottish market, recruitment has been awful. Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Alec, that's a similar point to what I've been making. We're turning our nose about it, and there's a lot of ignorance towards young Scottish players.
Yep.
In the league, we're thinking, they're only playing for Kilmarnock. They're not good enough for Rangers. Surely not. But can it get much worse than where we are right now? I mean, I'm not saying we're in the worst position we've ever been in. This is probably, compared to the start of the season, this is a very good position. Actually, if you compare it to the start of the season, when we had, he who shall not be named as manager, we're probably looking in a decent position.
No, we are.
But at the same time, this is Rangers. We're sat third in the league. We're actually struggling to sit third in the league.
I think if we win this game against St Mirren and then obviously beat that other side of Glasgow away from home, I think it's 3 points in it at the top of the league. So it is all to play for. And as I said to Lewis maybe even last week when we maybe dropped points to Hearts. We still need to play them another 2 times. We still need to play the other side of Glasgow another 2 times as well. So that's what 12 points there.
Yep,
it's a lot of points.
A wee comment here from Hugh Hepburn Duff on Facebook. We can't give St Mirren scoring opportunities like yesterday against Motherwell. Butland saved us once again first half. Absolutely.
Yep.
I think we're lucky that Motherwell never counted on the fact that we gave them so many opportunities. So many times we find ourselves sleeping at the back, and it's constant every single week. We're seeing this, so either it's not been addressed in the changing room, or these players just simply are not good enough and simply just do not get it.
No.
So what one is it? Because surely Danny Rowe cannot be that daft to not address it. In training or behind the scenes at half time or before a game for full time, whenever. He's got to be addressing this issue, but it seems to be happening every single week.
I don't want
at Tynecastle, even many weeks before. We've seen it in Europe, we've seen it in the League Cup as well. We've seen it happen too many times. We're sleeping at the back.
I don't want to use this as an excuse every week, but I think it just does come down to confidence in the players. We've seen John Sutar at Scotland. I think John, not the biggest fan of Scotland. I do watch him, but I think John Sutar at Scotland, he's absolutely superb at Scotland. But when it comes to playing for Rangers and putting on that royal blue jersey, I feel like he doesn't know what it actually truly means. And he gives away so many opportunities. I like Derek Cornelius at the start, and I think he's the exact same. Gives away so many easy chances. Dujon Sterling, I think he is one of the best defensive players we've got at the club right now.
I can agree with that, but I think maybe it shows. I think if anything, with John Suter thriving for Scotland and maybe not doing so well with Rangers, maybe that just shows the weight of the jersey. What it truly means to play for Rangers.
Superb at Hearts as well. So
of course, he was a good player for Hearts as well. He was a solid defender. I've seen a lot of Hearts fans were quite gutted when he left the club. So, yeah, I think we're probably going to wrap up shortly as well. Just a wee reminder for tomorrow. We're interviewing Alan Wardlaw as well, with plenty of
Yep.
experience in junior football with both Cambuslang Rangers and East Kilbride Thistle. I will be behind the scenes. Si will probably be interviewing him. If not, it'll be the other way around. I actually don't think we've made our mind up yet. Just tune in tomorrow. We'll be live at 2 o'clock with Alan Wardlaw, of course, as I previously just mentioned there. A lot of history in junior football, but currently an ex-youth scout at Rangers as well, I believe, for 12 years. And he's currently the visiting scouts liaison at Rangers as well. So he's got a lot of roles within the club. He's previously worked with the club before. Then he went into junior football. Now he's back working with Rangers as well. So, of course, a man that's been around it in football, has been in amongst it. So I'm sure that'll be a great chat. It'll be a great one to tune in tomorrow. Of course, the Billy Davies interview's got some great numbers. Let's try and top that now with the Alan Wardlaw interview tomorrow.
Absolutely, yeah. Just got to read this comment out from Alex here. Can't believe the criticism aimed at Danny Rowe. Has our support learned nothing when hounded out Phil Clement? The support demanded change, but never gave change a chance. I completely agree with that. You look at as Lewis, I was talking to Lewis earlier. You look at the job Clement's doing at Norwich right now, and it's the same. He started superb at Rangers and he started superb at Norwich. The support really has to get off the manager's backs. Danny Rowe has done fantastic with the squad he's got. The players that are here currently, I think none of them, I say none, I think a lot of them are not fit to wear a Rangers shirt, in my opinion anyway. And the fact he's managed to get even a bit of a tune out of those players and managed to make the league even touching distance, I wouldn't say touching distance. You beat Celtic at what? They're parking next week? It's 3 points in it, 6 points in it. Within touching distance with these players, with this group of players, and you look at the start of the season, you would never ever have expected that. So completely agree with that comment.
Yeah. Well, just before I finish up there, Danny Rowe's someone I don't think you can blame him much. As much as probably his team selections have been a bit questionable, as I touched on earlier on. But you can't necessarily blame him for this. As you're saying there, the fact that he's got a chin out of these players who are, well, not performing under Russell Martin. I know, yes, I said his name. I said it, Russell Martin. The fact that they weren't performing under him, but they're performing under Danny Rowe, is it good management? Or is that just down to sheer how poor we were before?
No, I think that is generally under good management under Danny Rowe. You look at the stance, the position Sheffield Wednesday were in under Danny Rowe as well. They were deducted many points under Danny Rowe. Managed to get them back up to, I think it was mid-table they finished. Right. It's a fantastic job he done with zero budget. The club was forcing got into administration. It's a superb coach. He worked under one of the best managers in the world, I'd like to say. Hansi Flick as well. And yeah, it's just hopefully it gets the right window in January, and hopefully cracks on from it.
Aye, well, a wee comment there from Alex Kelly. It's actually not on the screen yet. Kindergarten at Gers TV tonight. Well done, lads. Well, are you trying to say that Si Leslie and Gordon Bond don't look young? Is that what you're trying to say, Alec? Is that what you're trying to say? But no, but I'll be a younger show for you guys tonight. I think it's good to get points of view from all ages. I think at Rangers supporters. I think obviously I'm on the show quite consistently every week. Dylan's on
every month, maybe once every month.
Dylan's on still quite often. It's good to have you on the show, Dylan. Always.
Thank you.
And as I mentioned previously as well, make sure to tune into our interview tomorrow afternoon with Alan Wardlaw. Wardy, someone I know quite well as well through, of course, I work in Cambuslang. That's where he was with Cambuslang Rangers. Of course, he drinks in the Black Bill as well on a, I wouldn't say rare occasion, but quite every now and then he enjoys a wee beverage in the Black Bill. So I know probably my mum knows him a lot more than what I do. But I hope to find out some more information, some more facts about his career, some more interesting stories tomorrow. And I hope you guys are as interested as what I am, because I certainly think it's going to be a good one.
Yep.
Anything else you want to touch on tonight, Dylan?
No, just what you just said there. Hopefully tune in tomorrow for the straw. The the show tomorrow morning. I think it's 2 p.m.
2 o'clock, yes.
Yeah,
2 o'clock.
2 p.m. So hopefully tune in then, and hopefully you enjoy.
Yeah, just a wee final message. Just want to say thank you to everyone watching. Of course, once again, a wee last minute show, but we thought, why not? We're up the JS TV studios. We're up enjoying ourselves. We might as well do a wee show for the fans, from the fans. Just want to say once again, thank you all so much for watching. It's always appreciated. Make sure to tune in tomorrow, and always remember, we are